Next stop is Ray. Just because he hasn't run at me yet, and he seems like the next character that might have something. It's been a while.
I think I know how to find the guy behind these wanted posters.
Let's hear it.
Whoever it is isn't in the desert. They're not in Tavar. What I'm hearing are stories about some cleric, a guy called Walter.
What stories?
Just that he has a grudge. I need more details.
Why is a cleric going to these lengths to see you dead?
That's what I'm trying to find out. I've heard he might be in South Ignadon. He's staying clear of the Hort somewhere near the border with Tavar. We should find him. You know, I prefer it when the Alps stay in Zakor. They like it there. We like them there. Can't we just all agree on that and go home?
Let's go to Walter. We should find out if he is behind this.
Then we're going to South Ignadon. Well, here we are now. All we need to do is find Walter.
Then let's get started.
You really want to comb through the entire area looking for him? Yeah, I suppose that's the only way if I want this over. All right, let's get started. There's hardly anything usable in most of these ruins. They've been picked clean.
Tell me something about your cleric friend.
It seems that he's got a long memory and a weird sense of justice. Him and his friends attacked me. I just happened to be the better shot.
So, these contracts were taken out as revenge for the death of his friends.
Maybe. It's the best guess we've got. But it's still a guess for now.
See if I can sneak over here and grab this real quick. It's one of those secret teleporters I still haven't found. Crater. I was just at the crater with Kaya, wasn't I? Where's the crater? That's the crater, isn't it? The giant... I mean, that's the mountain, though. Would the crater be a high point? No. Is the entire thing the crater? Is that the idea? Anyway, happy to find another waypoint in this map. I paused because it seemed like that was the cleric right there. You really want to comb this whole place? He says, having line of sight with this guy, this target.
What? No, who are you? What do you want here?
I wanted to ask you that exact question.
Oh, I'm just passing through. No, he found me. Look, listen, I have to go.
It seems Walter has something better to do than talk to me.
Hey, man, back here. He's making a run for it.
I guess I should follow him. Let's see where he crawls off to.
Unexpected southern accent. Usually the accent they give to a lot of the outlaws instead of the clerics. Not that they really should have combined accents, since they're people that just choose a faction, basically. Boy, are you gonna be easy to chase. I don't know what your plan is, but it seems like it's not the best one. Oh hey, it's where I killed all the stalkers? What were they? Was it the stalkers? Hey you, buddy.
Yes, I have work to do, okay?
Can we just tackle him? Alright, yeah, let's let him lead us to a place, even though it's probably a trap, and he literally put out freaking price on your name, wants you dead. But yeah, let's just follow him into his, what could easily be a trap. Good plan. A+. Really good decision making across the board here. I wonder if it'd be faster to take a nap, skip to tomorrow. He arrives at his destination and then I just warp to it since he's on the map, than to run here. So why don't we fry to death? Like, why don't we burn to death when we walk across this bridge? Because getting within this distance of the lava kills you in this game. Except on a bridge. Even though the bridge has holes in the bottom, so it's definitely reaching you. Yeah, the game just threatened me with temperature after I'd already crossed the bridge, because I entered the safety zone of that the bridge magically provides. Weird. Still following you, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, I'm not really being subtle.
Is everything okay with
I didn't mean to do that. Bad time. Ah! You can't escape. Okay, game's threatening me a little bit here. We good? We're good.
I have a really bad feeling about this place.
Oh yeah, is it the part where we're being led to a trap by the person that wants to kill you? Because that's pretty good reason, actually. Oh cool, it's a haunted house or something. Was this a Rusty-like episode? Okay. Was it worth it?
So this is your hiding place?
If I just ignore you, will you go away?
You can try closing your eyes and wishing, but I'll still be here when you open your eyes.
Oh, shit.
So, you're the one who took out the contract on Ray and sent those bounty hunters after him.
Listen, I can give you shards. Just leave me alone.
You didn't leave me alone, did you? I've had to live in fear of my life, you scrag-ass skin flap.
Just tell me what you want and leave me alone.
I just realized that I haven't been wearing clothes ever since the off-camera sex scene happened. He's stripped down to his non-clothed setup, but because it looks like clothes, it didn't register for a while.
Let's start with you telling me why you took that contract out on Ray.
You're working for that son of a bitch? Why don't you ask him why I did it?
All right. Maybe I'll ask him.
He's right here in the room. Maybe I'll ask him. That's the end of the conversation. He's right there. He brought me here. Am I even allowed to do this quest without him?
You're going to pay for taking out those contracts.
Oh, no, please. I'll give you all the shards I've got.
You weren't so squeamish when you took a contract out on Ray's life.
You bastards! I hope you're rotting hell!
Yeah, good job.
What? That was like a weird, illogical end for that conversation. Hi. What's going on? Is it over? What? Anyway, amulet of defense, toilet paper, sulfur nugget. Are we supposed to be in combat? Am I supposed to be fighting him right now? It sounds like combat music's playing. Am I supposed to interpret that this is like I'm supposed to be killing him right now? Like me saying you weren't so squeamish when you took out the contract in his life was me saying I'm going to murder you now with my flame sword? Because that's literally not what I said. I'm basically doing the equivalent of pressing the doubt button in LA Noire. Like I'm pressing him and I'm trying to get an answer and also antagonizing him, but I didn't literally say I'm going to kill him now, and there was no attack him in quotes in parentheses, which is how this game normally communicates to you that you're gonna fight somebody. What the fuck is happening? And I can't ask him. I can't ask Ray about what's going on. He said, ask Ray, and I'm like, maybe I will. And okay, he's right here, but I can't ask him. This just doesn't work for like a role-playing simulation. Like, you can't really make reasonable decisions and choices and then like Fallout New Vegas this shit, because like none of my interactions feel like they make sense. Oh well. I guess that's what you wanted, game? Or is it not?
The contract taken out on Ray. 5 sheets from a set of 10. It looks like there are already 5 in circulation.
Okay.
It looks like Walter was behind this. He had a whole pile of contracts.
A whole pile? You mean he might have contracted more outlaws, not just Jackson's old crew?
No one else has been looking for you. Maybe Wyatt had the only set. Wasn't there something about midnight and entrance gate on the hit contract?
So?
Wyatt is to meet anyone claiming to have completed the job outside the fort at the planned meeting point.
Shit, of course. That all makes sense now.
What did you do to end up with Walter putting a contract out on you?
Nothing. I was out scavenging when I found a fighting behemoth out near the fort. It had been injured and dragged itself away to die. There's a lot of good meat on those things. I was partway through butchering it when some clerics arrived with the same idea. We could have shared it, but they wanted the whole thing. They opened up on me. I ran for it, but not before I'd booby-trapped the behemoth. It killed all but one of them. He escaped. I guess that was Walter. I guess that's why he's so pissed. I told some people at the fort what had happened. I guess he must have paid people off to find out who I was. Then he took out those contracts. Well, his plan almost worked.
That's all the copies of the contract.
You saved my neck. I mean, from some guy I met to the person who saved my life. How about that?
A guy you found and left for dead after looting his corpse.
Yeah, funny old world, isn't it? But what comes around? You earned me shards, so here, your turn.
Where did you get those from?
You know, ELEX it turns up when you need it. No need to get stressed. And thanks again, friend. Yeah, I mean that. Friend.
You should go back to Origin.
Yeah, sure.
Blah. It's a hell of a death pose, though. Yeah, I'm really baffled by how, like, he shut down conversation and I couldn't talk to him anymore. I tried clicking on him and I couldn't talk to him to push it forward because I was gonna just take the contracts and leave, but you literally couldn't talk to him anymore. It just shut down, which would make sense if it was like I had chosen to attack him, but my dialogue option didn't say attack him, which is normally how they denote that you're going to attack somebody. And also, he wasn't attacking me, so we were clearly not in combat. I couldn't even lock onto him, so we were definitely not in combat. And yet I couldn't continue, so I had to kill him, I guess? Which is, what is happening? Then you find out that you can kind of see why there was a contract out on Ray, because yes, the clerics are wrong to, like, yes, no? On one hand, the clerics are probably wrong to open fire on him, but it was a wounded animal that dragged off to die. Like, it seems really likely that they're the ones that wounded him in the first place. They probably had claim to the meat, and he was probably just ignoring that part on purpose. But even then, it seems like a nonsensical reason to open fire on someone, so they were also being unreasonable. But then he also did another unreasonable thing, because I thought, like, oh, he killed them in self-defense, or, you know, he fired back and hit some of them or something while he was running. No, he specifically left a trap to kill them that goes beyond self-defense, because he was already gone at that point. So he was just spitefully making sure that some of them will die even after they're no longer a threat, because he'd have to be gone by then anyway. So it's like, he's kind of a shithead in that situation too. It's just two shitheads meeting each other in the forest, and I just don't even want to try to unpack which one of them gets to be responsible and which one of them is in the right, because neither of them are, really.
No, I'm not good enough for that.
But I still don't really have that much desire to kill the dude, but the thing fell apart. Like the conversation system just kind of fell apart, and at some point I'm hitting the no fucks given territory with this playthrough a little bit, where if something like that happens, I'm just gonna move forward and we're just gonna let the game play out how it tends to play out, I guess, because trying to make decisions and being able to tell where I'm going with it, like, just doesn't work so far. So I'm just gonna sit with the consequences of most of my actions, basically, and just see what happens, I guess. Even if the consequences don't always fit what I'm doing or the scenario. Just gonna go with that, more or less. So we've talked to Ray, we've talked to Crone, well, not necessarily talked to Crone. I think Crone has a mission for me. Falk might.
The elves are the enemy.
people must take care that they're not overrun and fed into their converters.
Alright. Valk's fine. How about you? I haven't talked to you in forever.
Ever since the Albs set up their base in the Ice Palace, they've been killing to take land and defeat their converters. But now they're after more than just ELEX.
Alright, Duras seems to be on pause too. He doesn't have a quest in progress or anything either, but like, just his quest was over so early in the playthrough, but like, before I even met other characters, it feels weird that he's just kind of been idle. I actually forget he exists most of the time, which is weird because he's the first character you meet. Alright, I think we're caught up then, for now. Wait, no, no, I should talk to Raid, shouldn't I? I think? We're not completely done, are we? Or maybe we are done. Let's do Scattered Union real quick, because it's my one miscellaneous quest that's sitting around. Hey you, come back here.
Follow me.
Follow me. Hartmut. And Frank. Poke around real quick. I need to remind myself who Frank even is. No, right, Frank's the guy that he's a prisoner here. He's being forced to work. In which case, you're kind of a better waypoint for getting there. I need to make sure I go for orange, right? No yellow. Whoa! That was... okay. I think Crony just triggered a mine. How? Ow. I walked right by it and somehow didn't trigger it, but my floating friend triggered it. Huh. Okay. We're near enough that I'm just gonna book it. Whatever weird wildlife's around the area can just be mildly startled. It's fine. Ain't having that. Oh, it's a ways up. I can definitely see him, the cleric. Ooh, that was a close one. Got some upwards momentum at the end, though. No, no. What the hell was happening there? Weird, like, jumping spree. Oops, accidentally ate two. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to, like, confirm, not double click. There we go, that's the jump I was going for. He got, so I stopped pressing jump, but he jumped like 4 times in a row. I think he was in a weird thing where he was kind of falling off the ledge or something, and so it just looked like jumping.
Halt! Who are you? What's the password?
I don't know the password.
And yet you expect me to believe you are who you say you are? You've walked onto our ground, so I will ask you again. How did you find us?
Halt, what's the password? I don't know the password. And you expect me to think you are who you are, say you are? I didn't say I was anyone. This is where the conversation started. I don't have a pretense to falsify yet.
Frank gave me your coordinates in the fort.
Frank? You've spoken to him. I've been trying to hatch a plan for days now to work out how to get him out of there.
So, do you want to know how Frank is doing?
Do I want to know if he's been tortured? If the outlaws have starved him? If his belief is being challenged every day? I know how the outlaws treat their captives. That's exactly why I want to get him back.
I can't correct him at all? That he's just I mean, at least I don't think I have any confirmation that any of that stuff was happening to him. I think he's just currently an indentured slave, which isn't a good thing, but not those things.
Why are you here?
To find out what's happening. Ever since the Duke took over here, the lines of communication with Ignadon have been shut down. Baxter might have been a maniac, but at least he talked to us. Now, this Duke and his men, they came out of nowhere and they've destabilized the whole of Tavar. We want to know if he's a threat, or if he'll start talking to us.
Calculating probability of success for mission completion.
I don't want your analysis. This is something we have to do, whatever the odds say.
Can I help you get your man back?
Right now, I'll take whatever help I can get. I want to get Frank home safely, and I fear if I go in after him, I'll just get him killed. You probably stand more chance than us. The outlaws are used to people passing through. They welcome all in the name of profit. It's not like they'll trust you, but they'll allow you in.
What's your plan for getting your man out of the fort?
Well, we can just ask them. The outlaws aren't going to suddenly start abiding by old agreements from the Great Council of Magalan. ELEX is the only thing they respect. If we offer enough, the Duke should agree to set him free.
The Great Council of Magalan?
Yes. That was almost 100 years ago. There was constant warfare that threatened to destroy us all. It was the clerics who brought all the factions together to sign a non-aggression pact to save us all. You know, peace reigned for almost 40 years. But during that time, each group was increasing, growing in size, becoming more committed to their cause. It just made the next war all the bigger.
Why doesn't anyone keep to the pact now?
Because as a species, we're actually pretty damn dumb. And I'm not excluding the clerics here. In those days, the clerics were fighting the berserkers over at ELEX deposit. They needed it for their mana. We needed it to drive our machines. When we weren't able to reach agreement, weapons began to speak instead.
And there's been war ever since?
The Hort assumed the war would be short. Back then, we didn't know the power their mana can unleash. We were arrogant. We assumed the technology we'd stockpiled, the weapons we developed would be enough. Then Berserker's magic grew stronger, until one battle where our machines failed. Whole squadrons of our troops were wiped out. We haven't recovered from that defeat, even today.
You left the outlaws out of your story.
Because they aren't worth my breath. They were violating the resolutions almost as soon as the council had made them. Their attacks mostly consisted of small raids, but it was only a matter of time before they tried something bigger.
I've heard enough.
Good. Let me know when you're planning to head to the fort. We have to free our man.
Give me the Elexit. I'll pay to get your man out.
Very well. I'll put our man's fate in your hands. That elixir is going to buy the freedom of my friend. Don't let it go astray.
So once upon a time, the berserkers and the clerics got along for 40 years, and then they'd fucked it up. And surprise, surprise, the outlaws were never interested in peace and were always just doing outlaw stuff. Almost as if they literally call themselves the outlaws and define their entire culture around not following laws. It's almost as if the entire faction actively doesn't make sense and might be one of the biggest, like, weak points of the entire game's premise. Because the premise sounded better when it was like, oh yeah, fantasy RPG, it's the fantasy Western RPG versus the sci-fi Western RPG versus the wasteland Western RPG. And it's like, okay, so what are they like? Are they wastelanders? No, they're outlaws. I'm like, what? No. What? Like, it doesn't... Why would they call themselves outlaws? It's a faction defined by not being a faction. It doesn't make any sense. It should be like Brotherhood of Steel doesn't make sense because clerics are already the Brotherhood of Steel, basically. But they could be like Ranger Citadel, you know? They should be sheriffs, not outlaws. They should literally be the opposite of that. They should be like the protagonists of both Wasteland games or or any similar factions. The what is it? The people from the Minutemen from Fallout 4. Like they should have been those kind of groups. Should have been what the Outlaws were, and then you replace that group, and then you just have an issue where like there are outlaws. Just as a concept, outlaws exist in the Wasteland and other places. Like you can have outlaws, because of course there's outlaws. Every RPG ever has tons of outlaws. They're all the rogues and brigands that make it so you can have conflict and random encounters all the time and everything. But this place, look at this place, by the way. This should be Ranger Citadel. These should be the sheriffs of the West in the Wasteland, trying to bring order to an unruly land, and that's supposed to be, that should be what they are. You have some like duels and showdowns and high noon and all that shit. And instead they're like, they're outlaws. What does that mean? I don't know. Like even the game isn't entirely sure what this faction means or how they work, and it's like they can't function. It doesn't make sense, and the answer was right there, so I'm confused by it.
I want to buy Frank's freedom.
Frank? The cleric we're holding prisoner? Why do you want him? But I have no more use for him. Tell him he can go, but he's to carry a message back to Ignidan. Come to Tavar, and you will pay the price. Stay at home in the Hort, and you have nothing to fear from me. Maybe letting him go will send them a signal that they should be worrying about Zakor, not Tavar. Pay me, and he can go.
Here's the exit for Frank.
Ha! Changed my mind. You can keep the shards. Just remember how this played out. You've been smart. So don't fuck it up and get in my bad book some other way.
Why did you want to destroy the Hort?
The balance of power. With them gone, we'd control all the technology this side of Zakor. It's not like those berserkers want it. And with the clerics gone, the Albs should take care of the berserkers for me.
And you believe Conrad would destroy his own kind?
Well, he's pretty damn convincing. I had not been caught out like that for a long time.
Take care of Conrad yourself.
Get the job done. Or get the fuck out of Tavar before I have you flayed alive. Go get out and find him if you know what's good for you.
This decision will have far-reaching consequences. Probably. But I'm not really interested in murdering him for you. The guy that you... Yeah, I'm not really interested in your whole scenario, so goodbye. But hey, let's go get this other guy out. Probably should have done this, done that little conversation afterwards. But I'm tired of having that thing in my quest log telling me to do it. You're not the right guy, you're the guy that looks like every other guy. So is the bomb deactivated, or is this going to be really awkward, really fast? Oh, it's Elmer. Wait, am I thinking of the wrong character?
Hey, I heard somebody destroyed Conrad's Big Bang. Is that true?
Yes. Who knows what it would have destroyed if he had gotten away with it.
You destroyed it?
Did you know the truth? That it was a combat robot and not a bomb?
That contraption was Conrad's thing. I didn't have anything to do with it, okay?
Have I been horribly wrong? The cleric captive, he's upstairs. It wasn't Elmar. What was Elmar's backstory? Was he... Is he not allowed among the clerics anymore, or is he also a cleric captive, and there just happen to be two cleric captives, and we're just not acknowledging the other one for some reason? I guess they don't want him.
It'll be a war before that happens.
Okay. Maybe he was exiled cleric and I don't remember, or something. Oh look, he looks like every other... He looks like the guy I walked by downstairs, and also the guy that wanted to be an outlaw, and also 500 other... It's that same guy.
I spoke with Hartmut.
You found our group commander? And he spoke to you? To an outsider?
What can I say? It must be my charisma. Do you want to know what he said?
Well, if he trusts you with a message, then my mistrust of you was unwarranted. Please, tell me, what did he say to you?
He tasked me with buying your freedom.
Then why am I sitting here? Are you going to do what he asks or not?
I've paid the ransom money. You can go.
What do you mean, go?
I mean, go. Leave.
This feels like a trick. You'll put a bullet in my head as soon as I try and leave, won't you? You or Iron Madison?
Iron Madison has been handled. Nothing will happen to you.
By the grace of Kalan, I am free. I can go. I can really get out of here? Thank you. I'm going to find my unit. And if I can get back to them, I can get you a reward. Hartmut is a true follower of Kalan. He is certain to pay you back, if he's still alive. So, good luck out there, my friend. May Kalan watch over you.
Turns out I don't need to be paid back because I didn't have to pay for it in the first place, because they were just like, yeah, whatever, keep the money. This was basically their response. So not in a big hurry to head back there then, so that's taken care of. That was a funny quest occurrence just because it like weirdly like deleted itself from my quest log. I believe I encountered him before, knew he was there, knew he was captive, and that you might have to do something to save him. And I think it just didn't register as a quest, or the quest went away because it counted as being complete in some way for some reason. And then I just happened to randomly talk to a random character about... It was the guy that made the Big Bang, right? I just randomly talked about him about Frank, and I'm like, why are we talking about Frank? And I'm like, okay, so and that's why I was like, okay, obviously Frank's the guy that's right next to him where he was... Have I looted that yet?
Elevator design that utilizes water as a power source.
Nope.
It is highly inefficient. Studies show that some berserkers will observe this structure and produce pictures of it. Such behavior is also highly inefficient.
But I was like, yeah, obviously the guy right next to the Big Bang guy must be Frank, right? Because they work together and they're both clearly clerics, uniform and everything. No, he meant the guy in the jail cell that was nowhere near him. That's also a captive. Huh. If I'm gonna randomly be able to talk to that guy about some cleric captive, you'd think it'd be the one that was standing right next to him and not the other cleric captive that I don't even have reason to think that he would have met before. And yet there's my character asking all the same. Here's the completely wiped out HQ. This is where the a lot of the outcasted berserkers were, but they decided to murder me on sight, so I decided to murder them back, and now they're dead. They're all pretty much the story of how that goes.